Hello, g'day, I'm Philip Duncan. Thank you so much for joining us for our special Australia-only 7-day forecast, which we record every single Thursday now. Thank you so much for all the feedback we had last week. Now, this is a bit of a nerd alert, but I absolutely love playing Flight Simulator. In fact, it's one of the reasons I have learnt so much about the geography and weather around the world. So everyone that told me where you were from in Australia last week, I went on to Flight Simulator and I flew to every one of your towns, and it was fascinating. I learnt a lot about where our viewers are from. So please do keep that information coming in. If you haven't told me already, let me know where you're watching us from, and I'll make an effort to learn a little bit more about where you are from as well. Let's have a look at the air pressure map here for Thursday. This is for this afternoon. It shows low pressure in the dark shading and high pressure in the bright shading. Now that high is encouraging a much warmer, hotter week of weather coming in for Perth. But the placement of that high also means that on the other side of Australia, much cooler. And you're going to notice that in the days ahead as your temperatures really do drop in Victoria, Tasmania, and even up to Sydney. We are likely to be seeing that. As well as that temperature drop, some good news. We've got some rain in the forecast for the very dry eastern side of Australia over the days ahead. So let's explain what is coming in. We'll kick off with Friday's big picture, and you can certainly see the high pressure zone here in Western Australia keeping things calm to the south, and hot up around Perth with that nor'easter. Now over in the southeastern side of Australia, you're getting that cooler sou'wester coming in off the Southern Ocean. That's why there are plenty of showers around and why your temperatures are down, and that southerly making its way further northwards. But on Friday, basically Adelaide, you're in the late teens for the next week ahead. Much cooler week coming up compared to where you were. Melbourne, cloudy and cool for the next couple of days. Sydney, you were 30 or 32 degrees today, but yesterday you were 32, I should say. By tomorrow, by Friday, you are down to 21. So that's quite a big drop coming for you. And further to the north, Cairns, you got a dry week pretty much coming up. 30 degrees all week, mostly dry. And over in Katherine, just here south of Darwin, we had a viewer who wrote to us, hello. I flew into there as well. Beautiful weather, right down there by the river, although I don't know how much water is actually always in that river. Mostly dry and sunny and hot up towards Darwin for the next week. And Katherine itself, you're around about 40 degrees Celsius for the next week, so certainly warm. Okay, on Saturday, no real change, but the weather in the southeastern corner is going downhill, and actually the windy weather comes back into Sydney more of it as a westerly. Pushes your temperature up in Sydney to 27 degrees, maybe 30 if you're further inland towards places like Penrith. Also, the Gold Coast might be a shower, 28 degrees for you though, so certainly it's warm. And in Perth, like I say, that hot weather coming in, you're going to be in the low 30s for the next week ahead, if not even warmer than that. And Roma, inland, 34 degrees for you. So we've certainly got a bit of heat coming in for the top half of Australia over the next week. No real change on Sunday, still got showers and southwesterlies to the south of the country, and that big high out there over towards Perth. But next week is when things get more interesting, and it's all about that low down here in the southeastern corner. So let's break this down, because this low is expected to track up the eastern coastline next week, bringing rain to areas that do need it. So it is a good thing. So at the moment, Monday, bit of rain pushing into Albury and further around the coastal area to Mount Gambier. That's a place I'd love to visit one day. And plenty of wet weather in the sort of southeasterly or southerly flow. That's why Adelaide is cooler, but also Hobart as well. On Monday, Sydney's got plenty of showers coming through with this system. You don't really see it so much here, but there are a few showers coming for you. Now, by Tuesday next week, again, Sydney's got showers in the forecast, but we're seeing warmer weather in other regions. I've got to point out here on Tuesday that Hobart, your high is 20. So that's going up from your much lower temperatures at the weekend. So it does warm up off the screen there. But this is the main area of interest, this rain pushing inland. Places like Dubbo might get some rain, and Orange. But you're on the edge of it here, sort of in this zone west of Sydney. Mostly coastal showers, won't really be getting over the Alps. So that's why Canberra's probably even dry on Tuesday. And here we are on Wednesday, that low still stuck, or it's not really a low, it's sort of a trough, which is like a pothole in the sky, and that's producing some wet weather from Sydney to Brisbane. So that is good news. However, you might be noticing, why is this spinning out here in the middle of a high pressure zone? Well, that's because the animated wind map I've put in there from ECM out of Europe. And the rain map you see there is coming from GFS out of America. So two different models side by side or on top of each other. And what this suggests is the European model goes, well, maybe that low will be further out to sea by Wednesday of next week. If that's the case, it won't be as wet for that eastern side of Australia. So keep up to date with the latest rainfall. In Aussie, finally, to end, this is the 7-day rainfall map covering from now through till obviously Wednesday next week. This area in this zone, if you're colorblind, that's the area with the heaviest rain from Grafton to Sydney. And it's just north of Sydney, up around Newcastle. There could be as much as 100 to 150 millimeters of rain in that shading there. Elsewhere, you're down around 30 to 50 millimeters. So that is some good rain, I think, for that corner of Australia. Not as much inland as some of you might want, although there were a few showers yesterday inland around places like, now, is it Charleville or Charleville? I've seen it pronounced two different ways in Australia. So I need a bit of help on that one if you're from there. But I did see a few showers yesterday in that zone. Anyway, that is all from me. Thank you so much for joining us for our 7-day Australia Outlook. We'll be back again next Thursday covering Australia. And please do let us know if you haven't already, where are you watching us from? We'd love to know. Have a great weekend. We'll see you next week.